Hello. Hope everyone is doing well. Had a recent experience while celebrating my 10 years of sobriety. And I found myself unloading on my neighbor. And, which didn't make me feel too good. Definitely didn't show my sobriety at all. Definitely didn't show it, the day of yesterday. Found myself yelling at my neighbor because their one dog is relentless. And, which brings me to the topic of say what you mean, but don't say it mean. And I said it very mean. I said my points very mean. But to my credit, saying anything at all to defend myself and or boundaries and or any friends or anybody like that that's growth. That's good. That's good. So we've been having a little bit of a battle with our neighbors because they're very loud people, which is fine. I mean, I don't care about it. I grew up with dogs, I grew up with animals. The occasional bark, okay. But when a dog is barking for 14 straight hours, viciously, at you, whether I'm over here, whether I'm right next to the fence, whether I'm inside talking with my wife, it doesn't matter what we do. The dog is barking relentlessly. And not in any old direction, in our direction at all times. So this went on for many, many months. The guy says, oh, we even had the dog for a year. Okay. Sure felt like it was a year. It felt like 10 years. Okay. We've talked to them. We've texted. I've yelled at the dog. I tried talking with the dog. I tried being friendly. Tried ignoring. Tried calling the cops. Tried calling the SPCA. Tried calling the town. And to his credit, he did make like a little wall instead of fixing the fucking problem. Maybe get it trained or something. Because he's the hero and he's rescuing all these dogs from the shelter, which I can appreciate. That was one of his points that he was making yesterday. Okay, cool. That really is cool. Without a doubt. I appreciate that. Very much so. And he's a good guy. But he's not thinking about anybody else. Doesn't care for his other neighbors. They have a battle going on. They've been battling. And now I kind of understand why. Maybe they're not the fucked up ones. Maybe not. But we finally had our discussion. To his credit, he didn't yell once. But he was saying things in a way that was asking to get punched in the face. He was. He was. But I was making myself look like a fool by yelling and, of course, swearing. You know? Of course, swearing. I mean, swearing is... Swearing's gonna be tough to give up. I've been swearing for a very long time. Very long time. So, I said my points. It's been quieter. I didn't even talk with my sponsor about this. Definitely. He said that I did the right thing. But the next day, today, I don't feel good. I don't feel good for... I was about to punch him. I was in his face. There was probably saliva coming off my mouth because I was in his face yelling. But I got my points across, and that's a good thing. That's growth. But I'm having an emotional hangover because of how I delivered my message. My messages. And I pretty much got them all. And didn't really leave anything out. And I said it quite mean. I meant what I said. You know, I said it what I mean, but but don't say it mean. And I was quite mean, and it didn't make me feel good. See, when you change, at least for me, when I change, you know, the only time I would unload like that is when I was quite loaded, high or drunk or something like that, and I would let loose. And that was like one of the greatest feelings ever, because that's the only way I knew how to vent. Nowadays, I can't do that successfully, and I have to figure out other ways of coping with myself and others. There's the dog. And you know, it didn't make me feel good. And I envisioned myself saying things in a really kind manner. And I start off that way. I did start off that way. He comes to me, he's like, "Are those cameras? What do you put up cameras for?" I'm like, "No, they're not cameras. These are dog silencers. Try to help with the barking of your dogs." And then he started pushing buttons, and then not even pushing buttons, like there was gaslighting and there was bullshit. There was his perception and then there was mine. Well, ours, you know, my wife and I, our perception and his perception, or his family's perception, and two different things going on there. You know, told me his, you know, part of his sob story and his heroics, which I can appreciate, man, like I said. But when I hear some gaslighting and I hear some bullshit, that's when I start getting excited. And that's when I start yelling and swearing even more. And it felt good to rebuttal pretty much everything he was rebuttaling me against. Which really shouldn't feel good. Shouldn't feel good that I have an answer for his answers. You know, it's a kind of like it's kind of like you know, flexing my superiority. which is not good. It's all ego driven. It's all ego driven. And I failed in many ways, but in other ways I did pretty good. And I was told that by my wife. Well, she has my back no matter what. No. She would tell me straight up. She's one of my teachers, like I said in another video. She's one of my teachers. But my sponsor said, I don't know how you dealt with it for so long. That wouldn't have happened. And my sponsor has a pretty damn good program. Very open, very spiritual, very interspiritual. Has a really good outlook on life. But also a human being. And he's like, I don't know how you dealt with that for so long, but I wouldn't have. You know, there's boundaries, and you have to deal with others, and they have to deal with us too. We have to coexist. So, yeah, that was my lesson. I still feel kind of bad. I do. I think that's kind of a good thing, you know. You know, if I didn't feel bad, then, you know, that kind of almost makes me think I can go back to old ways, old thinking, and old behaviors. And I don't want the old. I don't want the old. I want to continue to grow, and I need these experiences to grow. No matter how uncomfortable it is, and it's very uncomfortable. I don't like confrontation. I don't like it. I'm a people pleaser. I want people to like me. But I can't do that. Because of step 4, if you know anything about recovery, which I'm sure most, well, maybe, who knows. Step 4 helped me learn me. I learned about me. What makes me tick. What makes me self-sabotage. And one of the things is not saying what I mean, saying anything to defend myself, take it all in, leave the situation and beat the shit out of myself when I'm by myself and secure and feel safe. I beat me up because I didn't stand up for myself or boundaries. And that kept me stuck. And that kept me sick. And how do I drown that out? Drugs and alcohol. I know how to fix this. And then when I'm drinking, I'll let loose. Not in the greatest way, but if you're in my way and I'm in a certain mood, when I'm drunk, you better get the hell out of the way. Very dangerous. And that felt good. And why did it feel good? Because I let loose those painful emotions of not expressing them and letting them go. When they needed to, I would bottle up, and then boom! A huge bomb exploded. And anybody in my way, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel the brunt of it. And that's not good. That's not cool. That's not safe. But that's how I dealt with me and the rest of the world. But I have to keep on coming, keep on learning, because this is where I learn. It's here on Earth, being an Earthling, having this human experience. I have to remain teachable trying to keep on grow in a positive direction. You know, like I said, I envision myself acting a certain way, and then like I start going on that way, right? I start going on that way, then whoosh, I go to the old me. So it's really nice, almost spring. It feels like spring, but I think it's a trick. We're being tricked. I know this weather well enough where this is not gonna stay as it is, but it's wonderful out right now. Boiling down some sap, making some maple syrup, and I'm really blessed. I'm definitely blessed to have 10 years of sobriety. It was one day, 1 minute, 1 second at a time. I'm not sure how I got here. Just didn't drink, didn't drug, one day at a time. Went to meetings and did the next right thing. Started doing some step work, service to others when others want to friggin' learn. There's some sponsees that, you know, not ready, and that's fine. When they're ready, I'll be here. So with that, you know, say what you mean, but don't say it mean. Try to keep the ego out, but express yourself in a positive way where you're not hurting someone else, because I think I hurt that guy. Not physically, but I was about to. I was about to physically, but I definitely was probably intimidating, and that's not cool. So I failed a little bit, and it was success a little bit. So I have to keep on coming, because I know nothing. Thank you. Peace.